in chapter 6, now we're not going to get to all of the different ways, but in chapter 6, it's all about quadrilaterals. So what does it mean if it's a quadrilateral?
4 sides.
Okay, it has 4 sides. But how many shapes do you know that have 4 sides?
Like 3.
Name them. What do you know?
A rectangle.
Rhombus. Look at you. Go, Alex. Rhombus. Square. Yes, we don't call it a diamond. We call it a kite.
That's okay.
Rectangle, rhombus, square. Parallelogram. Right? Trapezoid. Do y'all know what a trapezoid is?
Yeah.
Not really.
It has a short top, 2 sides, and a bottom.
Oh, yeah, I do.
So, quadrilateral is like a family name. Quadrilateral is like the last name, right? Like you have a last name that you may share with people, but there's a lot of people in your family. Quadrilateral is the family name, but there's a lot of things that fall under quadrilateral. Here's the tricky part about when we come back to school, 6-4 through 6-6. We have to learn what separates all of these from each other. Basically, we have to look at their DNA. Well, in a rectangle, this means this. In a rhombus, this means this. So, thankfully, we aren't getting to that before Christmas because it kind of makes your head hurt. We are only going to talk about one type of parallelogram, or one type of quadrilateral before Christmas, which is a parallelogram. So basically what we're doing today, guys, that tape's going around in case you want to tape this little piece of paper to your work, just in case you're curious. So basically what we're doing today is it's a lab. We're bisecting parallelograms. We're looking at its DNA and how it's made. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Yeah.
Okay. There are 4 main properties of parallelograms. So here's the fancy words for it, but I like simple stuff. So, first property, opposite sides are congruent. So if it is a parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. Are all sides congruent? No, because then it would be a square. So opposite sides are congruent. That's the first property. Second property, opposite angles are congruent. So like sideways, diagonal-wise. So whatever J is, so is L. Whatever K is, so is M. Opposite angles. Okay. Third property. If this is X and this is X and this is Y and this is Y, opposite angles, X plus Y always equals 180. You can call this the consecutive angles equal 180. So any two that are beside each other. So down here, these two, X and Y, equal 180. Well, here's X and Y together, so these two must equal 180. Here's another set, so these two must equal 180. And then here's another set, so these two must equal 180. Okay, last property. If one angle is 90 degrees, then they're all 90 degrees. So if one angle equals 90, they all equal 90. Those are our 4 properties. Okay, so let's put it to use. So I'm telling you right now, every problem we're doing today is a parallelogram, okay? So you're not testing it to see if it is one. You're assuming, or you're knowing that I told you it is, okay? So number 1, we want to find X and Y. Well, what do you know about all the angles? They're equal to 90, because if this one is, they all are. So 3x equals 90, and 4y equals 90. So solve for x and y. What'd you get for x?
30.
What's y?
22.5.
Okay. All right, number 2. We have a side and an angle to find. But what do we know about opposite sides? They're always congruent. So to find y, we set 8y equal to 88, which makes y 11. Well, there's 2 ways to know number 2. First of all, aren't these opposite angles? Yes. Second of all, if one's 90, then they're all 90. So to find x, we have to set it equal to 90, which makes x equal to 15. Not bad, right? So good so far. So far, so good. What? Go back. Am I going too fast? Okay, number 3. Opposite sides are congruent. Well, in this case, which technically makes it not a parallelogram, but I'll go with it. They're all equal because there's a dash on each side. Well, so if this is 12, then they're all 12. So set both of these equal to 12. So x is equal to? Y is equal to? Okay, this is property number 3 coming in right here. Well, I know opposite angles are congruent, but I can't set 3y equal to 12x. And I can't set 2 variables equal to anything and solve. But what do I know about this angle and this angle? Together they make 180. So you have 6x plus 12x equals 180. Yeah. So x is equal to 10. So now I can help find y. Because if I plug 10 back in, this angle is equal to, this angle is equal to 120. And it's congruent with the angle across from it. So I set 3y equal to 120. And I get y is equal to, yes.
Okay, I thought you said x and y equal 180.
They do if that's the whole angle. Like here I'm assuming that like that's just y and that's just x. So like any 2 back-to-back angles equal 180. So like these 2 right here. So it's not always just x. It could be a number in x. Or it could be x. The point was just that this angle plus this angle have to equal 180. This angle right here plus this angle have to equal 180.
So we could have set 6x.
But that's the problem. You can't set 6x equal to 3y because you have 2 different variables. Yes, Lauren? Uh-huh. Perfect. They all are the same ones. So can you do 5 and 6?
That's it.
Well, 11, yep, just 5 and 6. And then I guess we'll move on in this lesson. I was going to wait till Monday, but we'll go ahead and do the rest of it. How do I start 5? Well, what's this angle total? 60. Okay, so if this angle is 115, then so is this angle, right? Well, these 2 angles together have to equal what? 180. So I would do 2y. And there's more than one way.
Wait, why?
Because if you like kind of ignore that diagonal, it's still a parallelogram. So I just added these two together. Well, opposite angles are congruent. So that's how I knew this was 115. And if this is 115, these two together are back to back, so they have to equal 180. What's 180 minus 115?
65.
And so y is equal to 32.5? Okay, well, if y is 32.5, plug it back in here. What's 32.5 times y? Times 2? 65, right? So, isn't this angle right here congruent to this angle? So I would set 65 equal to 5x, which makes x equal to 13? Yeah, it says 150. What property is used on number 6? You have to name it, but like, what's the concept of it? Opposite sides are congruent. Uh-oh. I can't do this one first, can I? But which one can I do first? Not 5, but 5. No, 5. Okay, so y is equal to? Which, at first, if that was an angle, it wouldn't work because 2 times y, that'd make an angle 360. Okay, but this is a side, so it does work. Okay, let's go ahead and start talking about the next part of this. Yeah, we can do this. Okay, so one more property of a parallelogram talks about its diagonals. Okay, so if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its diagonals bisect each other. What does bisect mean? Cuts in half. So this is congruent to this, and this is congruent to this. Do they have to be the same thing? No, they don't. That's a property of another quadrilateral.
Shouldn't we add like another slash because there's only 2 in that?
Oh. Okay. Yeah, does that bother y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. So technically I should add 3 and 4.
If you want to be mathematically correct.
If you want to be mathematically correct. Okay? So this is property 5. The diagonals bisect each other. Property 6. The diagonal cuts the parallelogram into 2 congruent triangles. So this triangle is congruent to this triangle.
So could you put
What?
like dash, like,
Okay.
if they're both congruent, then could you put like a dash?
You could say these two sides are the same,
Yeah.
this side is the same, and then this is reflexive. Okay, so 13 through 16 are using the properties we used on the last page. Can you find angle R?
Yeah.
Because Q and R together have to make what? 180. So I would do 180 minus 128. 52? Okay. So 13 is 52. Well, if RS is 5, what's QP? Uh-huh. And if PS is 3, what's QR? Right. So 14 is 3. 15 is 5. And what's the measure of angle S?
128.
Right, because it's opposite of angle Q. Okay, I'm going to skip 17, 18, 20, 22 because I want you to practice those. Let's do 19. Well, if it's a parallelogram, then its diagonals bisect each other, which means this is congruent to this, and this is congruent to this. So I would set x plus 6 equal to what? 11. and y minus 7 equal to 10. I can hear somebody jamming out instead of listening to this wonderful math that we're learning over here. I was in London. I guess she's okay. Okay, let's do 22. Uh-huh. Okay, well then this is congruent to this, and this is congruent to this. So 3y minus 5 equals y plus 5, and 2z plus 7 equals to z plus 9. Do y'all see why it's so important to know algebra before you come to geometry? You couldn't do this if you didn't know algebra. You can't solve equations. So subtract, I get 2. Add, I get 10. So y is equal to 5. Subtract, so that's z. Subtract, so that's 2. Okay, we have 4 minutes. This is what I want you to do. I want you to finish these 4. 17, 18, 21, 20. We'll practice this again on Monday. And finish, because I don't think we finished. Okay? Try to at least get 1 or 2 of these done before you pack up. You have a whole 4 minutes.
Wait, 18?
Uh-huh.
Would y equal, would they all equal 101, or was that
Just
y?
just y.
Okay. And then x is 90.